Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, another cold, rainy, cloudy, dreary day. But I'm here, I'm showing up, and I am excited to talk to you. Grab your beverage. Today I have some water. I haven't gotten my coffee yet, but I thought I would sit and chat with you for a few minutes. You know how this goes. If you're seeing me for the first time, I come on Monday through Friday mornings and we chat for a few minutes. Lots of times I have coffee, sometimes I have tea, and today I have water. But whatever you're drinking, maybe it's a nice hot toddy, a hot chocolate. My sister the other day had a coffee martini with Kahlua. Is that right? Chocolate martini with Kahlua. No, coffee martini with Kahlua. I think it's coffee martini with Kahlua. So whatever your beverage of choice is, grab it and join me. And if you're seeing me live, please let me know that you're there. I'd love to say hello. And if you're seeing me on the replay, say hello. I always come back and check, make sure there's no messages that I need to respond to. So I would love to say hello if you happen to come on, or if you whether I'm live or on the replay. So it's interesting that it's just interesting. Relationships are interesting. Communication is interesting. I've had a lot of different kinds of conversations with people lately, and it's very interesting how different people communicate in different ways. And not that one way is right and one way is wrong. I'm not going to say but. It's more the fact that learning the people's communication style so that you can understand it makes it so much easier. It's like getting the cheat sheets before the test or a manual on how to do something. So often when we're in a relationship, doesn't matter what it is, right? Whether it's a work relationship, a personal relationship, we've developed different communication styles. And even after years and years and years with people, sometimes our communication styles may change a little bit. And maybe some things that worked for us don't work for us anymore. And learning how people communicate, what their communication style is, what do they do when they're angry, how do they react when they're excited, what do they need or want from you when they're disappointed, what happens when expectations aren't met, how do they behave, how do they react, how do they communicate with you, either verbally or non-verbally, right? Hey, Rob, how's it going? I'm in Florida. Not that it's so great, but better than home. And it's so sad that you're so far away, my friend. It would have been great for me to be able to see you while I'm down here, but you're quite some hours away, I believe. And so I'm learning some people's communication styles have either changed or are now coming with a manual. I'm asking more curious questions, investigating more, and instead of, I do still feel frustrated when I don't understand a behavior or a comment. I still feel angry and hurt at times, but after I process that emotion, I can then ask some curious questions so that, number one, I can learn that that's that person's default. And number two, if that communication style doesn't work for me, I can clearly explain why that doesn't work for me. And perhaps my response to that style of communication isn't what that person expected either, right? And being aware, just being consciously aware of how I'm moving through this world, how I'm interacting with people, has been enlightening, and very much an opportunity for growth. And so I share that with you because instead of choosing to just be pissed off, irritated, dismissive, which I felt all of and a whole lot more, I decided to journal and write out my feelings and get crystal clear on what I wanted my relationship to be. What do I need in this moment? How do I need to be communicated with? Perhaps, just perhaps, I haven't communicated clearly my change in preference. And it opens up a totally different type of conversation when it's one coming from my heart, wanting to learn more and also sharing more about what works for me. And so just some things that are happening in my life. What's happening in yours? Is there something that you would like to share that's happening in your life? Whether it's something you're struggling with or something that you conquered, let us know in a comment below what you're working on, what you're dealing with, what you're celebrating, what you're conquering, what you're struggling, what your hopes and dreams and aspirations. And if there's any way that I can help you, I am happy to do so. Sometimes taking a step back and kind of taking a step to the side allows us to look at life a little bit differently. And so taking the time and the intention and the opportunity to do that. And let's be honest, we only do that with relationships that we either feel we need or we want, right? Maybe we need that job and we want to get along better because we're at work for a very long amount of time every single week, 5 days a week, 8-9 hours a day. And so getting better at the communication there is important, right? Or maybe it's with a loved one, whether that's a parent, a sibling, a child, a spouse. It doesn't matter. Friend. Maybe it's a friend that you've had for a very long time that is near and dear, and all of a sudden things start going kind of weird and behaviors aren't making sense to you and communication styles aren't making sense. Asking, what's going on? What are you thinking? I see that this is how the behavior, and I don't understand the message. Can you clarify the message for me? Can you put it into words? You know how I feel about ghosting. So if you've not seen videos before on ghosting, guys, I think that is the biggest cowardice, chicken shit, lamest way to communicate. I think that ghosting or icing people out, withdrawing. Now, are there times where it might be necessary in the moment? Yeah, because sometimes, if you're in a conversation where it's heated, continuing to, I don't want to say push your agenda or share your thoughts might not be received, might not have the ability to be received, might need to take a pause and come back when emotions are lower. But come back. If a relationship was important to have in the first place, then it's important to end properly. It's important. Don't be such a damn chicken shit and ghost people. It's not easy. It's not comfortable, but it's okay. It's okay to say, a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and I adore you dearly, but I think that our lives are going in two different directions, and I'm not the person that can be in your everyday life any longer. It's okay. It's okay. I personally would much rather someone tell me that than for them to just block me, ghost me, especially if I've done absolutely nothing wrong. They've just decided that our relationship has served its purpose, or they don't have the time, or that they have changed as a person and are looking for a different type of friendship. I would rather hear that. And I would venture to say most people would, than to get blocked or ghost or iced out. And so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today, because I'm going through the thick of it in some of my relationships. And I told you that I would share, what's going on with me, the good, the bad, the ugly. And this too shall pass. It gives me the opportunity to be clear on what I want and clear on communicating that desire with another person, to ask curious questions for clarity, to stop creating the stories that are so easily and ingrained inside of us to create. I do it too. I'm human. I'm just a little bit more aware than I used to be that I'm doing it, so I can stop and instead ask for clarity. Is this what you intend? Because this is the message I received, and this is the story I've created. And if that's not accurate, I want to give you the opportunity to clarify the message so that I don't react to a message that is not what you intended to send. So yeah, getting clear on a communication. Communication isn't something that we're really taught. It's something that, years ago, growing up, I wasn't really taught about finances, and I fumbled through until I found some really solid strategies and practices that helped me. And, communication is something that I have not really been taught except through hardships and practice and failure and changes and learning through the hard way, right? Hey, Mary Jane, it's great to see you. And so it's okay that you're not perfect at communication. It's a work in progress. I think the first step, as you know, in the 3 steps to changing anything, is awareness. And that's the biggest step. Once we're aware of the behavior, of the things that we do, we can decide whether or not we want to change. And I, for one, determined that most of my relationships are worthy of the investment of the time to make them the best that they can be, to be crystal clear, to make sure that my intention with my words or my actions or the lack thereof is being received correctly, and that I am receiving the messages and the clarity and the intention clearly. It's really easy to say, hey, Martha, good morning. Good morning. Talking about communication. It's really easy when somebody is, let's say, short with me, snippy, that I can say they're angry with me, or they don't like the way I said that. But you know what? It might not have anything to do with me. It might be a conversation they just finished with somebody else. It might be a thought that they had in their head that they're worried about, and because I'm standing in front of them, I got the harsh words or the harsh tone. But me asking for clarity, like, where is this coming from? Is there, what caused you to be angry? Again, not why are you being a dickhead? Excuse my French. Or why are you being an asshole? Or why are you being such a jerk? Instead of pushing back, being confrontational, I'm curious. I'm curious. What caused that response? What did I say or do? And how did you interpret that caused the response that I got? Because I want to learn. And being in that learning, curious, receptive, interested mode allows them to feel more comfortable sharing, because you're not pointing a finger calling them a jerk, right? Calling them a horse's patootie, you know? And instead being, wow, I didn't realize that me saying that was going to cause that kind of reaction. Can you tell me more? Right? And so it's so easy to be reactive. It is so easy. We default to that. And being aware that that's my default has been my first step in, yes, do I feel offended? I do. Do I feel pissed off? I do. Do I feel defensive? Yep, I do. And I take a deep breath and I say, okay, what kind of curious question can I ask? Where the heck did this come from? Right? But I can say it a little kinder than that. I can think it. I can think it with some more expletives than that. But out of my mouth comes out kindness. And, you know, what caused this reaction? What did I do, say, what behavior, what caused this? This elevated voice with these harsh words. And they can say, I was really frustrated. I have filled out this form on the computer 4 times and it keeps blanking out. And now you walked in the room and asked me a question and I was frustrated at this form. It wasn't with you. Oh, okay. Because otherwise I'd be like, damn, I can't even come in and ask a question without you yelling at me. What the hell, right? Because here's a fact. We're all human. I have done that. I have been in the midst of something incredibly frustrating or incredibly disappointing. Maybe I read an email, I was really super disappointed, and then somebody called and I shouldn't have picked up the phone, but I did. Ever done that? Yeah, and not really in the mindset to be kind or to be open because your head is still in the conversation, the email, the listening to the voicemail, the whatever it is, and shouldn't have picked up that phone, shouldn't have responded, shouldn't have walked into that room, and I did, and I responded unkindly, and I get an opportunity when the person says, whoa, Nellie, where'd that come from? For me to clarify my message. I'm not angry or frustrated or disappointed with you, my friend. It was something totally different. I'm sorry, what did you need? And I can go back to being present and kind and not take out and have my behavior not match the question or the interaction that was happening in front of me, but was a response to something that I had just read or just experienced, like a conversation that went sideways and you walk into a room and somebody says something to you and you're snippy, right? Because you weren't able to say what you wanted to say to the person that you were just talking to. Or the person that you were just talking to said something that struck a chord with you, and now you walked out and you bumped into somebody, and now you need to take a deep breath and not be snippy with this person. It's work. It's not easy. Simple. Becoming more aware of it, I have been able to clarify my own actions, my own words, my own behaviors, and also ask for clarity of others. That is progress. Not perfection, but at least progress. So I just wanted to share that with you because that's something that I'm going through quite a bit with my relationships, and something that I'm realizing of myself and human behavior, and wanted to share it with you because maybe it's something that'll help you in your interactions with people, whether that's the grocery store clerk, cashier, or the Uber driver, the UPS person or the FedEx person that delivers your packages, or maybe it's a spouse or a child. Maybe that helps just a little bit. I hope that you're having a thrilling Thursday, my friend. I am thankful that you took time out of your day to spend with me, so that I could share a little bit about what I'm going through. Let me know if this is helpful for you. And if there's something that you're struggling with that you need some help, let me know. If I have a tool in my toolbox, I'll share it with you. Hey, Martha, good advice, and we'll definitely try it. Yeah, the trick is being aware in the moment, and I will share that it doesn't always happen for me in the moment. When somebody is harsh or elevated words, my gut reaction might be to match that energy. If I do, maybe I catch myself just after and pull back. The next time I catch myself as I'm doing it. The third time I catch myself as I'm about to do it. The fourth time I catch myself as I'm thinking about it. And each time I get an opportunity to practice, I'm able to become aware of it a little sooner. So I will tell you that it's a work in progress, that if you don't realize that you reacted or to somebody else's behavior, or that you just reacted to something that just happened and you take it out on someone else and you blurt it out, or you're harsh, or you're nasty, you're human. Even if you are aware of it a day later, there's nothing saying that you can't call that person and say, it dawned on me that yesterday when you walked into my office that I may have been a little bit grumpy. I just wanted to apologize if I came off grumpy. There's no statute of limitations on awareness. So give yourself grace if you don't realize it in the moment. This has taken me years of practice, and I still don't do it in the moment all the time. Many times many times I'm getting better with each opportunity. Do I love the opportunity to practice? No, I don't. I don't love that. But with each opportunity, I realize that it is just that, an opportunity to practice, to get better, to become more aware quicker, to choose to react differently, and to give myself grace when I don't do it in a time frame that I would love to do it, but in a time frame that at least I'm doing it. There are people, Hatfield and McCoy's, that whole thing where someone said something and they don't even remember what it was that was said or done or intimated or happened, and they're still mad. And they're still behaving on something that was so long ago they don't even remember. Instead of just saying, hey, I don't even remember why I'm mad. Can we move forward? If you remember why we're mad, can you share it with me so that we can resolve it? Using our words, using our voices is so very important. And I'm not sure when I got the message that I wasn't supposed to use my voice anymore. But I did, and I haven't. And using it is incredibly uncomfortable. Incredibly uncomfortable. I've lived 60 years of being quiet, of taking it, or giving them grace and just saying they'll be better next time, or I'll be better next time, and not using my voice and and telling people what I need and what I'll tolerate and what I want and what, a great thing. Here, I will share this. In a conversation that I had with somebody recently, the statement was made, I guess there's too much water under the bridge, that whatever I do moving forward won't be enough. Let that sink in. I'm going to say it again. I guess there's too much water under the bridge that no matter how much I do that's better, it's not going to be enough. And you know what my response was to that? That epiphany, that awareness, and the ability to use the voice and communicate that? Oh my good golly, Miss Molly. That is leaps and bounds. Awareness and consciously decide to communicate and take the action to use the words of what you're thinking instead of just swallowing it. Huge. So what did I say? You're right. No matter what you do is not going to be enough because I'm pissed off. I'm mad. I'm going to always be looking for you to screw up. Well, if that was the truth, I could have said that. But that wasn't the truth. That wasn't my truth. My truth is that I still see the good in them. And I will continue to look for the good in them. And moving forward, every time I see the good in them, I will comment on the good in them to reinforce that behavior, to do it more. And what is in the past is in the past, and we now have a clean slate moving forward. If that person had not communicated that thought, that belief, then it would have become their reality. They would have made decisions based on that one belief that they couldn't fix the situation because there had been too much damage for too long, that no matter how hard they worked, they wouldn't be able to undo the damage. That's a story that wasn't true. And sharing that story allowed me the opportunity to say, not true for me. That might be your story. But if you're concerned that is my story, I'm telling you that's not my story. Here is my story. Sharing our stories, sharing our beliefs, sharing our thoughts, communicating and using our voices is so apparent in every relationship that we're in. And it is so enlightening to be given the permission and the space, the safe space to do just that. And when I gave the space to do just that, I was given the space to do that as well. So, please, I invite you, start sharing your stories with the people that mean the most to you. See if your stories are true. Many times, they're not. And we make decisions based on those stories. So if you're going to be making life decisions, better to have the truth than a story that you created that you accept to be your truth. I hope this landed for you. This has been really powerful for me. It's been a lot of growth over the last couple of weeks. And I foresee that moving forward. It is not a one and done. Absolutely not. There's going to be plenty of opportunities for things to be said that can be misconstrued, for stories to be created that are not true. There'll be plenty of opportunities. I am human, as are the people in my life, but taking the time to express and use my voice and tell about my stories to find out if they're true. And if the behavior that I am interpreting to create the stories are true, is going to allow me to make better decisions based in truth and not in stories. All right, my friend. I hope that you stay warm wherever you're at. Yes, it is cold and rainy again. Cold and rainy again. Oh, when the sun finally pokes out in the next couple of days, I will be sure to send it to you, to share it with you. And please, if there are people in your life that you would love to share this message with, I invite you to do just that. The more people that we can get to be aware of their thoughts, aware of their stories, aware of their behaviors, and getting to the point where they can finally use their voice, the one that's been quieted for way too long, the better off our relationships and our world is going to be. So thank you for sharing this with others who may need to hear it. And I will see you tomorrow. See ya.